This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell and Unette Gentry. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
Welcome to News 25. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
And I'm Unette Gentry. It's Thursday, September 2nd.
Well, 3 suspects accused of torturing and murdering a Las Vegas man here in Nye County appeared in a Pahrump Justice Court this morning. But the preliminary hearing was continued to a later date after their attorneys told the judge they needed more time to prepare.
Heather Pate, Kevin Dent, and Brad Menn are facing serious felony charges, including capital murder, for the death of 27-year-old Roy Jaggers. His body was discovered in Cathedral Canyon, south of Pahrump, on the morning of August 1st. Pate, Dent, and Menn were identified as suspects and under arrest within 36 hours. They're being held at the Nye County Detention Center without bond. All 3 appeared with their attorneys before Pahrump Justice Court Judge Kent Jasperson this morning for a preliminary hearing. Pate of Las Vegas is being represented by Nadine Morton. Pate's boyfriend Dent, also of Las Vegas, is being represented by Jason Ernest, and attorney Thomas Gibson is representing Brad Menn of Pahrump. All 3 public defenders told Judge Jasperson they had not had sufficient time to read through more than 1,000 pages of evidence regarding the case against their clients, information they had just received in the last few days. Chief Deputy District Attorney Kirk Vitto told the judge he was prepared to move forward and ready to put witnesses on the stand. Ultimately, Judge Jasperson agreed to give the defense attorneys more time to prepare and set a new court date of September 30th for the preliminary hearing. The judge denied a request by Pate's attorney that she be released on her own recognizance, and Menn's attorney filed a motion Thursday morning requesting a gag order, saying his client's right to a fair trial is being threatened by information being released by the Nye County Sheriff's Office. Family members of both Jaggers and the defendants were in the courtroom for today's hearing. Pate, Dent, and Menn are accused of a heinous crime. The Nye County Sheriff's Office says all 3 defendants confessed to killing Jaggers, describing how they first lured him to Pate's home, where Pate and Dent kidnapped him and drove him to the area of the Belle Vista shooting range in Pahrump, where they met up with Menn. Detectives say the 3 went on to describe how they tortured Jaggers with a blowtorch, knives, a baton, and an axe before driving him to Cathedral Canyon, where they stripped him naked and forced him to walk off the cliff at gunpoint. The investigation revealed Menn shot Jaggers several times as he was falling. The Clark County coroner ruled Jaggers' death a homicide caused by multiple gunshot wounds. The sheriff's office says detectives discovered the motive for the murder was Pate's belief that Jaggers had hurt one of her young children, and determined that the 3 defendants had planned to torture and kill Jaggers as a form of retaliation.
And News 25's Matthew Davis has a follow-up now to a heartbreaking story that we brought you a few weeks ago.
After a 2-day preliminary hearing, Tyler Kennedy's case stemming from an alleged DUI collision has been bound over to the Tonopah District Court for a possible jury trial. Mr. Kennedy is facing 5 separate charges of DUI causing death or substantial injury and 5 additional counts of reckless driving or substantial injury. The collision resulted in the deaths of Michael Dermier, his daughter Georgia Dermier, and his fiancée Lauren Starsevich. Mr. Dermier also had 2 other children in the vehicle that were seriously injured. The victims were traveling from their hometown in Idaho to Las Vegas and the Grand Canyon for a family vacation. Kennedy is facing 2 to 20 years for each DUI count and 1 to 6 years for each reckless driving count. Mr. Kennedy is expected to be arraigned in Tonopah District Court on October 19th in Judge Robert Lane's courtroom.
And emergency crews were busy last night in Pahrump, and several people were sent to our local hospital following a crash on northbound Highway 160. Nevada Highway Patrol is investigating the cause of a major 2-vehicle accident that occurred last night on Highway 160 and Blosser Ranch Road. Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies and auxiliary units were also dispatched to the scene. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue arrived on scene and transported several individuals from the scene by ground ambulance to Desert View Hospital. An additional transport was requested by the Nye County Sheriff's Department for one individual who was holding a dog and later experienced injuries as a result of this crash. Both vehicles sustained major front-end impact. Nevada Highway Patrol is conducting the investigation as to how this accident occurred. Nye County Sheriff's Office auxiliary units diverted traffic around the scene, and the highway was closed in both directions while the investigation and cleanup was conducted.
And a man driving a vehicle reported stolen is arrested after fleeing from Nye County deputies.
Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies took one individual into custody and transported him to the Nye County Sheriff's Office Detention Center this morning after they had a report of a stolen vehicle and attempted to make contact with the driver. This occurred at the Horizon Market off of Highway 372 and Linda Street. The driver fled on foot traveling northbound adjacent to Linda Street behind several structures. He was taken into custody at gunpoint by Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies. The pickup truck, which was located behind the Horizon Market, was then impounded by the Nye County Sheriff's Office. And a follow-up to a story that we had last night. We were talking to you, everybody, about the Bank of America here in Pahrump.
Yes.
It's been closed for quite a few days, and we had a little information on one of their sites that said that they may be open tomorrow, and that is in fact what we got confirmed today.
That's right. Coronavirus, unfortunately, yes, is affecting operations there, but things will be handled and they'll be back operable soon.
They said that they will be open back up tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. They had some deep cleaning going on, and they had some cases over there. So luckily, and thank God that they're okay.
Amen.
We'll be back right after this break.
You're watching News 25, the most recognized and farthest reaching local news in Nye County. News 25, local news you can count on.
All right, well, right now, breaking, there is a two-vehicle crash on Highway 372 and Barney Street. Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies and Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue are on scene evaluating those patients. Of course, we'll have more on tomorrow night's broadcast.
And be careful out there because two vehicles are also heavily damaged from another crash, this one head-on Wednesday night near Lakeside Casino. Thankfully, both drivers declined to be transported to the hospital.
Nye County Sheriff's Office auxiliary units diverted traffic around a two-vehicle head-on crash that occurred last night on Homestead Road and Thousand Air Boulevard. How the crash occurred is under the investigation of the Nye County Sheriff's Office. Both vehicles sustained major damage. However, both of the drivers declined to be transported initially from the scene to Desert View Hospital via ground ambulance. However, a short time later, Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue were dispatched back to the scene for one of the drivers who was complaining of chest pain. He was checked out at the scene of the crash and declined to be transported once again. Well, and Governor Steve Sisolak has issued an emergency directive today, which creates an exception to the mask requirement for eligible large events in counties with substantial or high transmission rates if all attendees are vaccinated. This gives an option for event organizers to choose between requiring masks indoors for all attendees, regardless of vaccination status, or ensuring that all attendees are vaccinated, in which case fully vaccinated attendees can remove their mask. This is not a requirement to show proof of vaccination to attend a large event. It's an optional exception to the general mask requirement if the event operator chooses to require proof of vaccinations for all attendees.
And stand by now for the latest happenings from our area courtrooms.
Hello everyone, I'm Matthew Davis with your court report. Seth Cothran was back in court via Zoom on September 1st to answer for his no-show warrant. The judge revoked the outstanding warrant after Mr. Cothran's attorney made assurances that his client would be appearing in person for his next court date on September 15th. Cothran has been charged with committing the crime of luring a child away from her home with the use of a computer, system, or network with the intent to engage in sexual conduct with a child whom he knew to be 13 years old and enticed her to sneak out of the house with the intent to engage in illegal activity. He also committed the crime of attempted sexual penetration upon a child under the age of 14 years and also obstruction by providing a false name during an investigation. Ryan Howard was also in court on September 1st to face an arraignment on two recent cases that included assault with deadly weapon, battery by prisoner, both of which are Category B felonies that carry sentences from 1 to 6 years in prison. Also, Howard was arraigned on a harassment charge, which is a misdemeanor that carries up to 6 months in prison. Mr. Howard was arrested on July 22nd, where he was charged with sexual assault against a child under 16, child sexual exploitation with substantial mental or bodily harm of a child under 14, and incest. A plea deal has been offered to Howard on his previous charges. However, that offer was declined. He is being represented by the Public Defender's Office at this time. And that's going to do it for your court report for this broadcast. Remember to check out our Pahrump 411 Facebook page for updates on the latest on what's happening in Nye County courts. For KPVM, I'm Matthew Davis.
Well, if you are a Star Wars fan, you'll remember the scene with Luke Skywalker and his bionic hand. Well, researchers at Cleveland Clinic have made this fantasy a reality for amputees. New research shows a prosthetic arm that were wired to communicate with the amputee's brain is a new thing happening right now, and it can restore more natural function and feeling.
We built the system actually using an off-the-shelf prosthetic as our basis, but then we put in high-level computing, and we put in touch sensation, and we put in movement sensation. So when you look at the limb itself, it looks like any other limb, but you can't tell that there's actually a highly sophisticated computerized communication and feedback system running inside of that.
For more than a decade, Cleveland Clinic's Dr. Paul Marasco has been working on a cutting-edge prosthetic to restore natural movement, sensation, and function to amputees. It's the first bionic arm that allows wearers to think, behave, and function like able-bodied people. Results from his latest research, looking at 2 people with upper limb amputations, show the bionic arm allowed them to perform tasks with similar accuracy as able-bodied people. So how does it work? The system connects the wearer's brain through limb nerves to the prosthetic, enabling them to move the bionic arm just by thinking about it. Then it instantly relays sensation information back to the brain about how the hand is moving and when it touches something.
They feel as though their hands are moving even though they don't have a hand, and they feel as though their fingers are touching things even though they don't have fingers. And the interesting thing about it is that when we put all of these systems together, their brains actually feel like the hand is human.
Dr. Marasco says more research is needed before bionic limbs become common for amputees. He plans to apply the findings of this study to future research projects. Complete results can be found in the journal Science Robotics.
Don't grab that remote. News 25 will be right back with much more local news just ahead.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. News 25, local news you can count on.
Welcome back. Time now for your tech tip. Well, solid-state hard drives are not only faster, they're more reliable too. In today's Great Computer Deals quick tutorial, Josh Osborne explains why they're the best option for data storage and why you should get one now.
Hi, it's Josh with Pahrump Zone Great Computer Deals. Let's get right into it. It's time for another quick tutorial. Technology is always coming out with a claim to make your computer faster, but sadly, most of these innovations leave us totally disappointed. That trend has changed. Here's why you need a solid-state hard drive now. Part 2. Solid states generate no heat, no friction or vibration, and therefore last much longer than standard spinning hard drives because they're not breaking down slowly over time. Great Computer Deals is here to help you upgrade your computer or provide a new one that will help you benefit from this awesome solid-state technology for way less than you think. Why trust a technician when you can trust a friend? Great Computer Deals is located at 1190 East Highway 372. Call us at 775-990-8833.
Thanks so much, Josh. Well, maintaining a proper weight is important to your overall health. In today's Medical Minute from Spring Mountain Medical, we learn about the dangers of uncontrolled weight and get tips on how to best manage it.
This Medical Minute is brought to you by Spring Mountain Medical, healthcare the way you've always imagined it.
Hi, I'm Marquita Raja with Spring Mountain Medical, your hometown health and wellness provider. Today I'm going to talk about weight management. Weight control is a serious business. Maintaining a proper weight is critical to every aspect of your health. Uncontrolled body mass and weight can lead to stroke, heart attack, diabetes, cancer, and a range of other dangerous health conditions. Not to mention, it can put you at risk for other serious illnesses like COVID-19. So take control by doing the following. Monitor the types of food and the quantities you consume. Establish an exercise regimen that is tolerable and approved by your healthcare provider. And get 8 hours of sleep per night. That is also recommended for adults. Most of the time, controlling our weight is best achieved with someone like me who can help. Schedule an appointment to see me today so we can get you back on track to maintain a healthy weight and a vibrant life. I'm Marquita Arajo, and this has been the Medical Minute brought to you by Spring Mountain Medical.
Now, News 25's sports reporter Doug Ferber is kicking things off and spiking his sports report by highlighting some female athletes in our area.
Hello, sports fans. On Tuesday, the Pahrump Valley High School girls soccer team beat Las Vegas Western High School 2-0. Coach Julie Carrington said it was a team effort as her girls scored both goals in the first half. Sophomore Courtney Van House and junior Adriana Avina each scored a goal for the Lady Trojans, with sophomore Paris Coleman getting an assist. The Lady Trojans are now 1-1 on the season. The girls travel to Mesquite to take on Virgin Valley High on the 14th. The PVHS girls golf team is in action this afternoon with a match at Boulder City. I'll have a wrap-up of that next Tuesday. Today's girls volleyball match against Mojave has been canceled. According to PVHS Athletics, Mojave called it off. The Pahrump Valley High School cross-country team travels to Palo Verde High School on Saturday for the Labor Day Classic beginning at 8 a.m. Tomorrow, Rosemary Clark Middle School has two of its teams in action with 8-man tackle football hosting Beatty at 2 p.m. and the volleyball teams going at 5 p.m. in the gym versus Battle Mountain. First-year head football coach Ryan Ansell says his team, comprised of 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, will play conservatively to start.
We're going to try to mix it up as much as possible until we get our feet going. I think we're going to run probably more, obviously. We've been hard at it for 3 weeks as far as practices go, and now I think they're just ready to hit somebody else instead of hitting each other.
Ansell said this year's team is different than past seasons. The Sharks will be in a new league.
The league is called the Sagebrush League. It's mostly northern Nye County schools, so Beatty, Tonopah, White Pine, Round Mountain, places like that. It's an 8-man tackle football league. I'm excited to join it, so we have a chance at going for like a league championship instead of just playing games for a score.
The volleyball team travels to Beatty Saturday for the Beatty Volleyball Jamboree. Tonight at Allegiant Stadium, the UNLV Rebels open their college football season, hosting Eastern Washington with kickoff set for 7 p.m. On Saturday, the Las Vegas Kickoff Classic pitting BYU against Arizona will take place at Allegiant Stadium as well. That game is set to kick off at 7:30. Speaking of Allegiant Stadium, the newly painted Las Vegas Raider Allegiant airplane landed in McCarran on Wednesday afternoon, showing off the silver and black for all to see. The Raiders opened their season at home on the 13th in a Monday clash with the Baltimore Ravens. If you have any sports, athletes, or inspirational stories you might like to share, contact me, Doug Ferber, at kpvm25.tv. Now back to the news desk.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
All right, a live look outside as we head into break. Your Labor Day forecast when we return.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios. Lovely to see you. Delightful. Behold the weather. Look at this, 89 degrees up in Fernley Fallon. In fact, they get It's like the mid-80s theme, 3 different kinds. You've got the upper mid-80s up in Friendly Fallon, the lower mid-80s in Carson City and Tonopah, and just plain old mid-80s out there at 85 in Goldfield. Beatty, you're all the way up to 91. Amargosa, you got 98 boy band temperatures in Las Vegas, triple digits. Congratulations. You win this round, Las Vegas. Congratulations. 108 degrees out in Death Valley. And here in the Paradise of Pahrump, let's take a look. 94 degrees. Not too bad. Actually, we might win the prize, if not the trophy. 95 was our high temperature earlier. South winds to 14 miles per hour. Banging my wind chimes around like crazy. It makes it hard to take a nap. Sun rose this morning at 6:16 a.m. It's going to set this evening a little bit early, about 7:09. Man, we're really getting some nighttime, aren't we? Yeah, if you're a fan of night, that's good. Low tonight around 69 degrees. Southeasterly winds to 10 miles per hour. And that humidity staying pretty bone dry at about 15% as we head on into the week. Should be clear skies. Yep, clear, 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 clear. All the way to Wednesday when we get a little bit of cloud cover. Temperatures hovering, well, comfortably, like right now around the mid-90s. But today, tomorrow, going to be heating up. This weekend, on the other side, Monday, Tuesday, we might see some dangerously hot weather at 105-degree temperatures, but that'll calm down. We'll be kind of taking a little ride here, about 10-degree variance in temperature for the next couple days, and so we'll enjoy that and the clear skies and fresh air. It's just going to be like heaven. Tell you what, back to the desk.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
Good night.